time for a technique video. And I have had lots of response about a photo that I put on Instagram showing some poppy stamped candles. So I've had lots of people ask me how do I do that, and it must be really hard. So today I'm going to show you how to do these candles and how to avoid little mistakes like that. Alright, so let's get started. So what you will need is a candle, a pillar candle. They need to be white unless you're using a coloured tissue paper. So these are just really cheap candles. They're unscented. You can be whatever size that you want. Okay, you'll need some tissue paper, which you can just get from the supermarket or cheap shop. You'll need some wax paper. Now, this wax paper I have is white, but the wax paper that you find that is like almost a translucent browny colour, that is even better than this. So one side is sort of smooth and like textured, and the other side is really waxy. It's got a wax film on it. Now it's not baking paper. It actually will look on the packet and it will say wax paper. So you need some wax paper, tissue paper, a candle. You need your stamps. So I'm using the Painted Poppies stamp set. Now I use a rubber band and keep my dies with that. So you'll need some scissors or your die cutting machine. So your ink, and I'm using my Stamparatus, but of course you can use your, what do you call them, your blocks. Now, you'll just need a little piece of tissue paper. You won't need much. I'm just tearing a bit off because my scissors are at the other side of the room. So you're going to put that in your Stamparatus. Now you'll feel one side of the tissue paper is quite shiny and the other one is textured. I use the not shiny side, so not the more textured side, because I feel that the stamp doesn't slip. Now if you want to use the other side and you get good results with that, that's perfectly up to you. Trial it and see what you think. So I've already set my ink stamp on my Stamparatus. I'm just going to put my ink case, my stamp case behind it. We're going to ink it up. I'm using Memento ink. I want to make sure I've got nice coverage of ink. Let me just stamp that. Now I always use grid paper. Because this is a rubber stamp, you don't need to use your foam mat or your deluxe foam mat, so you put that aside. Okay, now once you've stamped it, you might want to colour it. So you can colour it with your Stampin' Right markers. You could colour it with your stamping blends. If you colour it with your stamping blends, make sure that they are really, really dry and before you do go on to the next step. But we're just going to do a two-step stamping today. So I've got my Poppy Parade ink. Normally I would use a stamping spot rather than a big ink pad, but I don't have any in this colour. Over. Now this will be off centre, I think. It might be okay. And it's okay that it's off centre. If I wanted to, I could just move the stamp down a little bit Okay. It doesn't matter if you go outside the lines. So we use the right colour. Ink it up again. And I want it to go outside the edge of the lines. Alright. So, you see the tissue paper is quite translucent. Right, so the next thing you would do is you would cut around that. So you might use your dies to cut that out, or you might just fussy cut it with your scissors. It's completely up to you. I'm going to just use one that I've done earlier. Now I did some masking with mine, so I've already got it. I've got 2 masks together, right? And I fussy cut that with my scissors. And it doesn't matter if you have a little bit of the white showing. Now, next thing I'm going to do is grab my candle. Now you don't want to put your image right up the top of the candle because it'll burn. So put it either in the middle or towards the bottom, in the bottom 2/3 of the candle. Right, the next thing you're going to do, so I'm just going to place it on like that. I'm going to get a piece of my wax paper. You want the waxy side put over top of your candle, like that. Now, I normally hold it. The other thing I didn't tell you needed was your heat tool. But because today my hands aren't working quite as well as they usually do, I'm just going to find the end of my washi tape somewhere. Now this is some retired washi tape that I've got in my stash. I love washi tape, you can use it for everything. I'm just going to hold it on. I'm going to stick my washi tape on, and that will just hold the paper in place, and you won't have to worry too much about burning your hand. Alright. Next up, you need your heat tool. Now mine has got 2 settings. All the Stampin' Up ones have 2 settings. Gee, it's a bit dirty. Anyway, I'm going to put mine on the low setting. I'm just going to run it over the candle. So there you see, when I heated it, the wax from the wax paper melted onto the candle. Now you want to make sure that you've got a nice little border around it, so you can make sure you've got all of the edges of your tissue paper are going to be melted into that wax coating. Now, if you were going all the way around, like I have with these ones, because I had a join in my wax, or a crinkle in my wax paper, that is why that is there. All right. And see, I must have had a join or something there. It's not completely smooth. Also, when I did this one, I used a high setting. So what happens when you do that is your wax actually melts too quickly and you don't have as much control. So let's take the paper off and see how it looks. Voila! We have done our stamped candle. Okay, so you might put a bit of ribbon around it, and you make sure you take your ribbon off when you go to burn the candle, but it's a really great gift. And like these candles are maybe $1. Like they're really cheap. Oh, yeah, this one was $1. And so they're really, really cheap. And it takes no time at all to stamp, cut, and stick it on. Now, I really encourage you to have a play with this, and I can tell you though that if you have really intricate stamps, it doesn't like lots of really little intricate edges. It's much harder. But I recommend starting with a single image, and then as you get more confident, you can start doing the wraparound ones all the way around. And of course, like if I wanted an image on that side, I could just do that later on. So you can see here the paper, the wax paper, all the wax is gone from where it stuck to the candle. So it's a really great project. I'm really excited to share it with you, and I hope that you will show me what you make using this really cute project. Until next time, happy creating, and I hope that you give this a go. Bye for now.